Fian champions, arguably the best archers in the entirety of Calradia. And how about a lot of them? I mean, only Fian champions. That would be fun, right? But how would they fare against those crazy Valandian cavalry charges? Or will they be able to penetrate those thick Imperial shields? Or is it just going to be a bad idea? Well, I guess we're gonna have to find out. Welcome to my only Fian Champions playthrough. I started off with picking my culture, the Battanians of course, and then the most Battanian looking character. I usually like going melee for myself because it's just more fun, but for this specific playthrough, I decided to put all my initial points into archery as well. Then I picked a banner for my clan, which was obviously going to be an axe. Yeah. An axe, of course. And after giving a name to my character, it was finally time to jump into the land of Calradia. Like any other playthrough, my first objective was to gather enough men to be able to deal with early threats like brigands and looters. But before that, I had to make sure that I was going to recruit the right men that can actually become Fian champions later into the game. I mean, the Battanian highborn youth. After a while of searching in different villages, I finally had enough men to be able to hunt down my first band of looters. Even though we were outnumbered by a bit, it didn't really bother me because looters are quite squishy with no armor at all. So I thought that my archers would get the job done before they could even reach us. But we did end up engaging them in a melee combat, though the arrows took out most of them, so it wasn't going to be that big of an issue. Unfortunately, we did lose a couple of men there, but it was a victory nonetheless. After leveling my character up, I went back to chasing down bandits and looters. My band was looking already really strong now, especially with those Battanian heroes and Fians. But I stood no chance against those big, well-equipped armies, just like these hostile Valandian deserters that I stumbled upon, so I had to pay them to get myself out of there alive. And speaking of staying alive, the most important thing for me in that regard was my army. And the most important thing for my army was those coins that I was absolutely draining like water. So I had to sell my own equipment just to be able to pay my army their wages. Yeah, things were not looking good, but at least my army was looking really good now. And they were getting even better with each band of looters dead. So along with hunting down these outlaws, I also took some quests from nearby village elders who were having trouble with brigands and looters in the area. So this was really good for me because not only I was getting that extra coin, I was also improving my relationship and reputation with these villagers, which would be really helpful later in the game when I need to recruit more troops. And not to mention, helping those poor villagers came with this beautiful terrain. And not gonna lie, this skirmish went on for a long time. But eventually we took them down without taking a single casualty. But my next battle was not so smooth. The enemies had a high ground, so I was worried about the casualties that I was gonna take. So I decided to head up and kinda distract them a bit so my archers could land some nice shots on them. But I guess I got too carried away and distracted them a bit too much, I guess. We did end up winning the battle though, so that was a good sign. And after beating some sea raiders and clearing out some hideouts, I realized that I really needed a doctor in my party. So I decided to ask around about a surgeon in this local tavern, but the person that I got suggested was more of a scout than a surgeon. But I recruited her anyways because I did not have a scout in my army and it was really needed. Then I went back in and had some more action with the bandits. And luckily, soon after that, I just randomly stumbled upon this guy who happened to be a surgeon. So, of course, I got him in, and now we had a dedicated surgeon with us. Then I cleared some more hideouts and joined a tournament as well. And I actually ended up winning a round. I was not expecting it, but here we are. I actually thought that I killed him there because of that sound effect, but then I was like, wait, who is my teammate fighting still because of that noise? So I turned around and he was still there, so it was quite funny. And to my surprise, I was actually through to the finals, so yeah. And with that one hell of a duel, I actually won my first tournament. And I got a horse that I was of course going to sell. Then I got an engineer from my army because soon I was going to need one. And now that I was sitting on a good amount of coins, I decided to buy my own caravan. Although these caravans and workshops, in my experience, they never really give me any return to my investments. But never mind, we'll be fine. But anyways, after fighting more sea raiders and bandits and clearing out more hideouts, I was finally able to join the Battanians as a mercenary, and like always, they were at war with Sturgians. So after recruiting more troops, I finally headed towards the front line and had my first big battle. Though this guy seemed to be kinda confused about his tactics, so he just ended up being a free meal for my archers. And just like that, we had our first real army defeated without any casualties taken. Then I went ahead and took part in a siege battle, but I was starting to question my decision when I realized that they had a mangonel in place. And let me just say that we were suffering some real losses there. But since their numbers were quite low, we were able to breach the castle and win this battle. And soon after that, I officially became the vassal of the Battanian Empire. Although I wasn't really dressed for the occasion, but Caledog didn't seem to mind it, so we were good. Now that I was a vassal of the Battanian Empire, I could now finally create my own armies and take on bigger and more stronger enemies. But to do that, I needed some renown first, which I could easily farm by defeating weaker Sturgian lords. And so I started to hunt them down individually. And then I was rewarded with my first ever castle. And now it was finally time for me to step up to the bigger leagues. I realized that the Sturgians were launching a counterattack on one of our castles, so I decided to call for some reinforcements and defend the castle from the Sturgians. The odds were pretty much even, but I knew that I had an edge over them because of the quality of my troops. I set my army up as they were about to charge in. I ordered my infantry to charge in and decided to jump in myself as well. They were falling apart, so they called in more reinforcements. Once again, I told my infantry to charge in, while my archers were absolutely raining fire on them. I kept fighting till I got knocked out, but we ended up winning the battle with only 4 casualties on my party. We defended the castle successfully and pushed the Sturgians to pay tribute and make peace. But then the Northern Empire also declared war on us and got ambushed by a huge Imperial army while we were trying to besiege their castle. So yet again, we were about to be fighting another bloody battle. But this terrain was really good for my archers, so I wasn't concerned at all. And as expected, the Fian champions were absolutely destroying their units. And just like that, we won another big battle and took some prisoners as well. And went ahead and took the castle for ourselves. After resting and healing my troops for a bit, the Western Empire also declared war on us and they were trying to take Lageta, and I don't know what I was thinking there, but I decided to jump in and defend the town with just 200 of my men against almost 2,000 of theirs. But since we had not one, but 2 mangonels, I thought we had a chance, and they were suffering some real losses right from the start. And then of course, I decided to hop on one of the mangonels and destroy the siege engines. We defended their first attack quite easily, but they were about to launch another one, so we had to get ready again. And we were able to defend another attack. It seemed like that we were winning, but they still had about 1,700 of their troops left, and everything changed on what seemed to be their final push. We destroyed their only battering ram, but then they just decided to push with their ladders. And this was really bad because we did not have enough troops to hold them off for much longer. And they were already on the walls, so we had to make our final stand here. although my Fians were doing a great job so far holding those legionaries off, but we did not have any more reinforcements anymore, and they still had like 1100 men. So at this point we were just stalling the inevitable, and soon after having a nice little stand, I finally got knocked down. And with me, my entire army as well. I was taken prisoner by the Imperials, where I spent most of my time sitting on a chair half naked. But anyways, if you want me to continue, just let me know and I will do it. Because I lost not because of my troops, but because of my stupid decision. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you did, then please like and subscribe and you know, all that good stuff. But yeah, I'll see you guys in my next one. Take care and bye.